At 9:41, you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Jane Monreal. We want to talk about teachers and talk about the quality of the teachers that we're getting, because new research is revealing a troubling gap in support for teachers when they start their families, possibly contributing to teacher shortage and turnover at a time when schools can least afford it. Joining us now to discuss the findings is Heather Pesky, president of the National Council on Teacher Quality. Good morning, Heather. Thank you for joining us. First of all, what are these findings telling you?
Good morning. Well, what the findings are telling us is sobering. We know that across the country that 35 states right now do not offer guarantees of fully paid parental leave for 12 weeks for teachers. And what this means is that teachers have to scramble and they have to go back to work far earlier than they're ready. So they're really struggling to support their families as well as their students and having to make this terrible choice.
I mean, and this is a real disturbing trend then for so many of our teachers. So in the scheme of things, what are families facing here day to day?
Well, what it means is that if you are a teacher and you decide that you want to have a child, you have to then figure out how you can afford to take the time to be with your own child. And what it means is that a lot of teachers are deciding that they can't stay as teachers, and so many of them are leaving the profession. We know that in North Carolina, for example, about 1,200 teachers leave the profession each year, describing personal reasons, some of which are about lack of paid parental leave. So we're really urging states to offer 12 weeks of paid leave to both strengthen families as well as attract and retain teachers, and ultimately to benefit children.
Are any states doing 12 weeks of parental leave?
Yes, actually, there are two states that are providing, the two states right now that provide fully paid 12 weeks of parental leave are Delaware and Arkansas. Those states have figured out how to make it work, and we hear from teachers in those states that it's really important to them, both in attracting them to teach in those states and also in helping to sustain them so that they stay in their jobs as teachers.
Wow, that's great that they're able to do that. When it comes to providing paid parental leave, what would that look like for taxpayers?
Yes, well, we've estimated the cost of paid parental leave, and what we found is kind of surprising. It's actually pretty affordable to provide paid parental leave to teachers. We estimated that it costs about the cost of a cup of coffee for each taxpayer per year. Now, the cost of losing a teacher in a district like Charlotte, for example, is up to $25,000 to replace one teacher per year if a teacher leaves. Those are the costs of hiring new teachers, the costs of training teachers. So we're really looking at a policy, paid parental leave, that's a really smart investment on the part of states to benefit teachers, to benefit families, and ultimately to benefit children.
How do you let this message, or how do you get this message out to the decision makers on trying to push, some kind of law like in Charlotte that $3 a year is a better savings than trying to find a replacement?
Well, I will say that in North Carolina, they do provide up to 8 weeks of fully paid leave, but that's still way too early for teachers to be returning to work after they've had a child. Imagine returning to the classroom after you've had a cesarean section. So we're really advocating for lawmakers to make 12 weeks of fully paid parental leave the standard, really to benefit families, to be supportive to teachers, and to be supportive to families. And this is a cost that we can afford. It's really a question of whether we can afford to lose so many teachers if we don't provide them with access to paid parental leave.
Where do you see this issue going, whether there's a momentum moving forward or not?
Well, 80% of people in a national survey, 80% of people said that they supported paid parental leave. And so we see this as an issue that's really a good opportunity to take advantage of a policy that benefits everyone, families, teachers, schools, students. So we're optimistic that more lawmakers will put this policy into place and benefit more families in the state of North Carolina and across the country as well.
Heather Pesky, president of the National Council on Teacher Quality. Thanks for that insight and information. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.